Welcome to the Mrs. R Relevant Daily Draft Podcast, sponsored by the Draft Professors. I am joined today by two of the OGs, Newt and Owen. And one of my favorite Sports Center lines is, "It's time to play the feud." Like when two hockey players were fighting. I don't know if they still do that, but back when I watched hockey as a kid, whenever there was a fight, they would always say, "It's time to play the feud." So, Owen, you want to let everybody know what we're about to embark upon today?
Yes, so we asked 25 of the draft professors on Twitter, who are in our draft professor group chat, to answer some questions for us. And I went through and I built a Family Feud style game through a simulator I found online to then play the game with Jim and Newt here. We're going to go through and ask some popular questions that have some subjective answers when it comes to prospects, and we're going to go back and forth playing in classic Family Feud fashion. Whoever gets the most points by getting the most, the answers correct with the points corresponding to how many people voted for those, will win at the end of this. I have my own personal idea of who's going to be the favorite coming into this, but Newt, how's your confidence level going today?
Dude, I remember that game show that we did over the summer and just absolutely doing terrible. So my confidence is at an all-time low. It can't get any lower, so there is, I guess, a little bit of light in that I can only go up.
And Jim, how are you feeling for your confidence level? I know this is kind of up you're my early favorite, not to put too much pressure on you because this is up your ballpark. The game show that Nick's talking about is when we did our trivia bowl or quiz bowl back on the Weekly Huddle YouTube channel, and the that was a lot more of just like facts and like knowing ball and being a ball knower. This is going to be how well do you know other draft professors and their opinions on prospects. So, Jim, having running these, you're my early favorite.
Jim's going to be like the favorite for anyone at this point.
Well, so the fact that I listen to more draft podcasts than probably like every draft professor combined, because like I got a front row seat to the best draft content creators around. And then there's still a few other draft podcasts that I watch. I think I listen well, but just because I listen well doesn't mean I'm going to do well.
We'll see, because I know a lot of these I was surprised with some of the answers. We had I answered the questions myself, so if you know some of my opinions on these answers, you may be able to sneak at least 1 point out of this. So I'm excited to get started. So without further ado, we have 7 rounds here. We'll see how many we can get through in this hour or so we're rocking with. But all right, so pre-game we decided that Jim, because we don't have buzzers here, is going to go first with our opening round, and this is going to be just like normal Family Feud. The first question, Jim's going to get an opportunity to answer first. He'll answer wherever his answer lands on the board. If it does, if it's not the number one answer, Newt, you get a chance to try to get a higher answer than Jim, and then we'll move into the full-on Family Feud style game show after that. So,
I would show you're not a Cubs fan. What do we like? The entire state of Iowa is Cubs fans. Oh man!
I feel like when you're in Iowa, you can probably pick whatever team, huh?
So fun fact, I had a buddy that went to Iowa for grad school. He's a lawyer, and we were down there visiting, and I tried to watch a Cubs game on like the MLB Sportscast, and it's blacked out in Iowa because of licensing rights. Braves fan. Ah, man. Well,
So I have a question. Does a
ahead,
lawyer
Jim.
go to grad school or law school?
it was law school, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing, Jim. Why are you doing that? Why are you already starting with this?
I love it. Building the competition up right now. So, with round one here, well, we'll start with this. So, Jim, you're going to be the first one to answer here. Round one, first question. We asked 25 draft professors, what position will go the most on day one? We had 4 the most frequent answers here. So, Jim, what is your answer for how do the draft professors answer? What position will go most on day one of the draft?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. I probably should have kept the answers up in front of me so that way I could open it.
Oh,
Hold
so
on,
you
I
have
got
to
'em
know
right here.
which you have to know which
Yes.
number it was, so you don't reveal anything.
So Jim got our number
Son of
one
a bitch.
answer with 11 points. Jim, would you like to continue to play the board or pass it to Newt?
Oh, I'm gonna keep playing.
All right, Jim. So you got the first 11 you got there. So we asked 25 draft professors which position will go the most on day one. Give me another answer here. Try to get 2 through 4.
Edge.
Edge rusher. No good answers there, Newton. No. None of the classic Family Feud.
I don't. What do you
Newt's
want
over
from
there.
me?
Newt's over there talking with his family right now.
I'm not
Because,
talking.
like-
I'm not going to get to answer this because Jim's going to
He's
get all
trying to-
4.
He's trying to crowdsource as many Cubs fans as he gets to come support him on the show.
Oh God, now it's down to 4.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So, number 2, Edge was up there. Jim, can you give me the next most highest voted for position that people think will go the most in round 1 of the NFL draft this season?
Offensive tackle.
That is going to be number 3 on our board. It's O-line kind of brackets general. It was kind of split between O-tackle and O-line. So that was the last one. Or that was the second to last one. We have one answer left on the board. So, Jim, of all 25 draft professors who answered this question, what position is going to go the most in the 2026 first round of the NFL draft?
So I know what it's not going to be. So therefore, I'm trying to figure out what it will be. So
Well, yeah,
is,
it's
is
not gonna be
guard,
quarterback,
is
I'll say
he
that.
get
guard
three-
included with offensive line?
Yes,
Does he get 3 strikes?
he does. Yeah, he has 3
Oh
shots.
Jesus!
Okay.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm going
This
to
is
go,
Gonna be easy.
yeah, like, I'm going to go linebacker. And that's going to be
Linebacker.
wrong, but I've got to eliminate a few things.
So we have our first X of the day with linebacker here. So, Jim, try again. The position that'll be drafted the most in the first round of the
Oh,
2026
I
NFL
forgot
draft.
I forgot cornerback.
So our final answer here is DB with 1 vote.
DB?
Jim, you-
One DB? Are you serious, Owen? There's like 5 possible answers. This is ridiculous. What are we doing, lumping offensive linemen and defensive backs together? This is in the spirit of baseball season. In the spirit of baseball season, I am throwing up AP for protest. Absolutely ludicrous.
All right, well, Newt, take it up with your other draft professors because that was what the answer was in the
It's not-
responses there was DB, safety,
Oh my
and corner
God, what are we doing here?
combined. We're going to move on to round 2. Jim has the 25-0 point lead after clearing that full board. Newt, you're going to have your first opportunity to answer on this board next. So our second question,
Dude,
round 2.
how does it feel to lay a goose egg?
What do you mean lay a goose egg, Jim? I didn't get to lay anything. I didn't get to sit on the toilet, man. You hogged the stall.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Big talk for a guy who now gets a chance to answer first on this next question. So round 2, what team will be drafting Ty Simpson in the
This
2026
is ridiculous.
NFL draft?
Oh my God. He had like
There are-
5 choices to choose from. I got 32.
There are
Oh my
5 possible answers on
God.
this board. We asked 25 draft professors. What team will be drafting Ty Simpson in the 2026 NFL draft? Newt, what is your answer?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers is going to be the number 2 answer on our board. Jim, with the chance to take over, can you give me what team was the most picked by the draft professors for where Ty Simpson will be playing in 2026?
Arizona Cardinals.
Jim, would you like to pass or play on this board?
I'm gonna pass.
Oh,
Jim's gonna pass. All right, Newt.
that's
So
some cowardly shit there, Jim.
I don't know about that one, Jim.
I don't know about the Jim.
All right, Newt. You have answers 3, 4, and 5 still on the board. 10 points available for you to get. The question is: we asked 25 draft professors, where will Ty Simpson be drafted to team-wise in the 2026 NFL draft? Go ahead with your next answer.
Bishop Sycamore is not a valid answer, Newt.
Cardinals, Steelers.
All right. we are going to institute. Go ahead. I'll give you leeway in this.
Give me a little bit. We're going to
give you a timer.
Los Angeles Rams.
The St. Louis Rams are not up there, but the Los Angeles Rams are with our number 4 spot with 3 points. So, Newt, 2 more answers left. All 3 of your strikes still remaining.
Cleveland
we asked the
Browns.
2026 draft professors, where will Ty Simpson be playing in 2026?
Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. Show me Cleveland Browns. Oh, unfortunately, that is not up there, Newt. But you do have 2 more chances to get these 2 answers. What is your next option for where will Ty Simpson be playing in 2026, according to the Draft Professor group chat? Mowgli, no hints.
Mowgli, feed me the answers. You know them all. We are going to go with the New York Jets.
The New York Jets need a quarterback. That is our number 3 answer with 5 points. All that's left, number 5, with 2 points remaining on the board and 2 strikes remaining. Newt, can you tell me who the last team is that was predicted to draft Ty Simpson by the Draft Professor group chat?
I agree, Joe. Joe's got it right here.
The Quebec Ramparts.
I am kind of afraid. I got a couple floating around in my head. I'm not going to talk about them because I'm not going to give Jim any ideas. God, I got 3. I feel like I'm going to pick 2 of the wrong ones. We're going to go with... No, they're not going to. I take that back. Okay. We're going to go with the Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis Colts just paid Daniel Jones. Still have Anthony Richardson on the roster. Are they on this list? That's going to be strike 2 for Newt. One last strike. Team Jim with the chance to steal. Newt, we asked 25 draft professors, where will Ty Simpson be drafted in the 2026 NFL draft? We're looking for the final answer here. Where do you think?
I am going to go with my final guess to the Minnesota Vikings.
That is going to be your 3rd strike. Jim, you have a chance to steal 23 points off this board if you can give me the final answer to the question of, we asked 25 draft professors, where will Ty Simpson be playing his professional football in 2026? Where do you believe he is going to be drafted, or where do you think they said he was going to be drafted?
He's going to South Beach.
Damn it.
Miami is our final answer on the board. Jim steals the 25 points. And he takes a commanding lead, 50-0. After Newt talked all that crap about not even getting a chance to answer, he chokes.
If I could have had the first one, it would have been fine. South Beach was the 3rd one.
That was one of the popular. There were some other answers. That was the most answered question.
St. Louis Rams. That was a pretty good guess.
Yeah, we got there eventually.
I'm pouring a new drink right now.
I love Iowa Joe. The Raiders are going to double down on taking both Mendoza and
Dude,
Simpson.
I swear to God, if that was when I saw that in the chat, if that was the answer, I was going to be so angry. Actually, Jim wouldn't have said that, so I would have been fine with it. But still.
I like, some Iowa Joe with the CFL. Like, I don't even think Quebec has a CFL team. But that's still a pretty good guess.
No, I shouted out the Quebec Ramparts, which are, I think they're a QMJHL team, which is junior hockey. So that's the only team in Quebec that I can think. Quebec has to have a Canadian football team, right?
You would think.
No, I don't think they do.
How well do you know the CFL?
Montreal.
Montreal is in the Quebec province, but Montreal is not the city of Quebec.
I'm looking.
Yeah, Quebec City doesn't have a team, but Montreal Alouettes, Toronto Argonauts, Edmonton football
Toronto's
team,
not in
we're the
Quebec.
Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, yeah,
Toronto is in Ontario. It's not in Quebec.
Yes. So the only Quebec team I can think of would be Montreal, the Alouettes. All right. Round 3, Jim.
Am I the only one here that's old enough to remember when Quebec had a hockey team?
The Nordiques?
The Nordiques, they still rock the Nordiques jerseys for the Avalanche.
I have a Quebec Nordiques hat, actually.
Can you tell me what the Nordiques logo actually is? I heard this recently. I did not know what it was supposed to be, but you know what it's supposed to be?
To me, it looks like an elephant with a hockey stick.
All right, Jim, do you know what it is?
I thought it was an igloo with a hockey stick.
It is an igloo.
Oh!
It's just an igloo.
All right.
Never knew that.
It looks like an elephant with a hockey stick, in my opinion. But the igloo,
I had no idea.
Oh, Iowa Joe going with the
Frankfurt Galaxy World Football League.
Oh, Kurt Warner. He's going with the Kurt Warner path.
Oh, we're not going to go with the London Monarchs or the Barcelona Dragons.
So Iowa Joe making the analogy between Ty Simpson and Kurt Warner.
Gotta love it. Equally as viable players, especially if you ask Dan Orlowski there. So, all right, round 3, Jim. You're starting with the board here with your commanding 50-0 lead. The question is, who will be the last receiver drafted in round 1 of the 2026 NFL Draft? We have 6 answers here for this one. So, Jim, who will be the last receiver drafted in the first round?
I actually think this one's harder. We're going to be able to get most of them until we get to the last one. So I'm going to go with Chris Brazel.
Chris Brazel is not up there.
That's what I mean. This isn't as easy as it looks.
Elijah Surratt.
Elijah Surratt is not up there. Jim, back over to you. Which wide receiver will be drafted last in the 2026 first round of the draft?
Jeremy Bernard.
Jeremy Bernard is not up there.
Chris Bell.
Newt going with Chris Bell for the last wide receiver.
I like that one. That's got to be on the board. Good call.
I can't believe any of those 3 weren't.
Chris Bell is number 4 answer. Newt, would you like to pass or play?
I'm going to play this one.
All right, Newt's going to try to get back in on this one. So, we asked 25 draft professors, who will be the last wide receiver drafted in the 2026 NFL Draft first round? Newt, you're looking for answers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. What is your answer?
So, we've got Jeremy Bernard off, Chris Bell off. We've got Chris Brazel off. And we've got Elijah Surratt off. That means that I'm going to start looking in the meaty part of my board. Oops. We're going to all right, I got to think about this. Casey Concepcion.
KC Concepcion, Randall's boy, is going to be our number 3 answer with 6 votes for KCC for the last receiver drafted in the first round.
Fun fact, is it actually like... Is KC for Concepcion, or is it different?
I've had that same question.
Because I know people like JT Tuimoloau, and it was like JTT. People got pissed off at that because they're like, it already stands for Tuimoloau. Why are you saying it again? But then it just kind of caught. Is KC is the C for Concepcion?
I'm not sure because I know coming into the season before he was called KC, I knew him as Kevin Concepcion.
Yeah, it's got to be then, right?
Probably.
But all he goes by is KC at this point. All right. So Concepcion is gone. We're gonna go Denzel Boston. Owen's not boy next.
Still my boy, and he's also the number 1 answer on this board with 8 points. Denzel Boston as the last wide receiver drafted in the first round this year. We have 3 more answers left. All your strikes still remaining. We got them all out of the way before we even got the first answer. So,
So we're gonna go from Owen's not boy to Owen's boy with Cooper Jr.
Omar Cooper Jr. is our number 2 answer with 7 votes for who would be the last wide receiver drafted in the 2026 NFL Draft first round.
Now I'm struggling.
Have the final 2 answers here.
Owen, I think this is a really good question.
This is a good question, and this is I felt like if I could get to this point, I'd be good.
A lot of them I structured as the obvious answer is going to be who's the first one. They're only going to get 3 total answers. Right. I wanted to try to think of questions that would have some variety in their answers, so you'll see a couple more in this vein later on.
Zachariah Branch.
And I get Zachariah Branch. Not. That is 1 strike down.
That's fine. I can live with that.
We asked 25.
It's going to be Owen's other guy.
Jordan Tyson.
His favorite wide receiver. It's his favorite wide receiver in the entire draft.
Jordan Tyson is not going to be up there. People are still high on Tyson, man. Even with the injuries, he's not going to be the last.
I didn't know if it was like 20 and then done.
That I won't give away any hints, but that's not a bad way to think of it.
Let's see here.
Like that was how I thought about it, especially when I was looking to answer this question, because obviously we have these answers on the left here that are going to be the popular picks from like the Bills at 26, some 30, 31, 32 picks. But if there's a receiver drafted high and then they just don't go at the back end of the first, you could have some weird answers. So that was kind of my structure of this question initially.
I feel like you're laying down a hint. There's two guys, and I think is.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go.
And
with
you also have to know, which draft professors are high.
This is where like Jim's advantage comes in.
Yeah, I know how I'm gonna steal it because I know that there's one that has a guy that's really high.
Antonio Williams.
For the last strike, we'll see if he can land question 5 or 6. The answer is Antonio Williams, the wide receiver from Clemson. And I'm going to go over to Team Jim for the steal. Can you get 24 of a possible 25 points in this question and keep Newt at the goose egg, Jim? We asked 25 draft professors who will be the last wide receiver drafted in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. What is your answer?
I'm going to give a shout out to Hank. I'm going to say Ted Hurst.
God damn it.
Ted Hurst is not going to be up there.
Yes.
Newt gets to keep his 23 points.
Can I take a guess?
If I had to guess, is it Malachi Fields?
Newt, what was your guess going to be?
Carnell Tate. I was going to take kind of the weird approach.
Answer number 6. We have Carnell Tate with 1 vote.
I was going to go with Carnell Tate. If I had like 4 guesses, I probably would have saved Carnell Tate instead of Antonio Williams. Okay.
And then for answer number 5, in the same vein, Mekhi Lemon would have been the last wide receiver drafted in the first round.
That logic makes sense then, because I was thinking Carnell Tate with it's the same. It's a Denzel Boston conversation all over again, but you just view either all of the wide receivers lower, or like maybe you're Chris Sims and think Denzel Boston is the GOAT, which doesn't make me feel good about my evaluation of Denzel Boston.
Yeah, so JT's view from the cheap seats.
Yeah. This is some bullshit, all right?
JT, I love you. I really do. But, yeah.
So, round 4, Newt's at 23.
Steve, this is, I agree. I want to know, so.
I don't, but once again, if it's what Owen said.
Tate, I'm going to say Drew is relatively low on Tate. So it would not have surprised me if the Tate answer was from Drew.
That's the thing, is like if you're lower on a guy, but then no one goes, like Owen said, like how low is Drew on Tate? Like, are we talking like late 20s, or like 20, but then no one else goes?
And I think Drew said it's still a first round grade, but he likes Boston. Like for New Orleans at 8, I remember doing the mock.
I didn't know me and Drew were about to be best friends. Well, not for the Tate thing, but for the Boston thing.
Yeah, so it was really interesting because, as you know, the simulator adjusts, right? Drew was one of the first people I did mock drafts with. So he really liked Boston early in the draft cycle. Boston was going at 8 to the Saints. And everybody that's doing a mock draft after, and I asked, so what's your reaction to the picks? He's like, well, Boston at 8 is definitely a choice. The number of people that gave that take was quite high. Now, Drew has since modified some of his grades, but he still loves Boston, but he's a little bit higher on Tate now than he was in December.
I like Boston. He's got, he's not a first-round grade for me, but he's about as close to a first-round grade as you can get for me.
That's about where I'm at it with him, too. He's a high 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Iowa Joe is the one that put Lemon in there.
The logic isn't bad, because if he goes, in the late teens, and then no one goes from the late teens to, the early second, I could see that as a possible reality. But, all right. So, Newt, I believe so. When Jim answered first, then Newt, then Jim. So Newt, you're gonna be the first one to take this board in round 4.
Correct.
You have 23, and Jim has 50. Went perfect on the first 2 boards, going clearing the first board by himself. No help needed, and stealing the second board from Newt.
Didn't even get
so
a
this
chance,
won't get you back in the game. This won't get you the lead, but it'll get you very close. That we're not gonna have a photo finish if that's the case. So, round 4 with Newt being the first to answer. The question is, who will be the first offensive lineman off the board in the 2026 first round of the NFL Draft?
Son of a bitch.
We have 4 total answers here.
God damn it.
The fact that there's only
This is-
4 answers, I can only think of 2. So this is going to be new. This is going to be a lot of fun to get 3 and 4.
No, it's whoever gets the number 1 is going to win this.
You sure about that?
Yes.
I know what, I'm going to make an early prediction. Whoever starts this board is going to lose it.
No.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm glad Newt's going first.
It's not. It's. I'm not worried about going first. I actually like my chances with that. I think that I'm more worried about getting the number 1 right now because I think that I'm gonna get like 2 or 3, and Jim's gonna snake it from me. I just don't know how to think about this. Mineral Freeling.
Monroe Freeling is the number 2 answer with 11 votes.
Damn it!
Jim, we asked 25 draft professors who was going to be the first offensive lineman drafted in
that
the first round
that
of the
means that there's
2026 NFL Draft.
12.
What is your answer?
I missed it by 1. I missed it by 1 person.
Francis Maui Noah from Miami.
Maui Noah is the number 1 answer. Jim, would you like to pass or play the last 2 answers on this board?
I'm going to play.
Yeah,
all right,
shocking.
Jim. 3 and 4 with 3 strikes. Can you get it? Okay. Who is going to be the first offensive lineman drafted in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft?
Spencer Fano.
Spencer Fano.
Shut up.
Going to be up there. You're looking for 2 single answers from the Draft Professor group chat.
Not a single person put Spencer Fano.
Not a single person put Spencer Fano.
Oh my God.
Yep. So, Newt, it was really good that I took that board from you.
No, I claim BS. That's 1 strike. But there are still a handful of other guys up there.
So, getting the next 2, though, is going to be tough because there's 5 guys to choose from. I only have 2 guesses left. Caleb Lomu from Utah.
Caleb Lomu missed with 1 Utah offensive tackle, trying to hit with the next one. And he's going to be our number 3 answer with 1 vote.
I bet that's Clint Gross. I would guarantee that is Clint's vote.
All right, Jim. 1 answer with 2 strikes. You're trying to find the 1 draft professor who answered a 4th name other than Lomu, Fano, Freeling, or Maui Noah for who will be the first offensive lineman drafted in the first round.
He has 2 bites at the apple, though.
NFL Draft. My prediction, Jim's going to win this board, but not by guessing it.
It's Jerry's guy. This is Viga Ioane from Penn State.
Viga Ioane, the first true interior offensive line player on this list, is not going to be up there. We have 1 strike left with Team Newt waiting in the wings, looking to steal. Got to hit the classic Family Feud X in the corner.
And again, I have to know the draft professors, and I believe Hank is unusually high on Emmanuel Pregnon.
We have Emmanuel Pregnon as the first offensive lineman drafted.
He's like top 5. Oh, really?
He's not going to be up there. Newt, your chance to steal, and I have almost no faith in you. I'm not going to lie. You have 1 shot to get this answer for the 4th player that was named. This wasn't like me having to whittle down the answers. This was
Joe, I agree with round 1, but the first offensive lineman off the board. I agree with the round 1.
I don't even agree with round 1.
Who do you think a draft professor voted to be the first offensive lineman off the board in the 2026 NFL Draft? It may just be them being particularly high on a guy. So that might just be the issue here. That this may be not super predictive. You might just have to think of who is unusually high on individual players.
I don't know. That's the problem. This is some bullshit.
Yeah.
We're going to go with Balake Miller.
Blake
out of Clemson.
Miller, the tackle out of Clemson for the steal is not going to be up there. I don't...
Is it Caden Proctor?
It's not
Or
Caden
Max
Proctor.
Ihina, sure.
It is Connor Liu, the center from
never.
Auburn.
I didn't never.
Yeah.
I saw that as an answer, and I was like, "There's no way they're clearing the board on
Once
this
again,
one.
like this, I maintain it. Like with that, I would have gotten the exact same as Jim if frickin' Monroe Freeling had one more vote. Ah, I am beside myself.
All right. Back over. We have 3 more rounds left. Still enough time for Newt to catch up, but you're going to have to kind of run the board here, Newt. Maybe we'll adjust this and make it double points. We'll see what happens, because that is what they normally do.
Yeah,
Newt,
they always
my
do that in
first
Family Feud.
Yeah. So, Newt, my first supervisor ever would say, "You're sucking hind tit right now."
Oh,
This
all right.
One of my favorite episodes.
Lost our entire female demographic and any
Jim, our female demographic is like maybe one if Colorado Jolene's on. If not, it's 0.
Oh, my goodness.
God.
So, Jim is
Lost our
up
entire female
51 points here. And we got round 5. I think I am going to make round 6 and 7 double and triple points like they do in normal Family Feud, just to make this kind of fair. No, we're around 6 and 7. That's why I made it 7 rounds, so we can make that joke.
I just
Round
noticed
5.
that Owen wore his button-down fish shirt because he's hosting a game show.
100%.
He
I had to get a
dressed
button
up
down.
for this.
He's
He
Andy
dressed up for
Reid.
this.
He's Andy Reid for this. He's
All
ready
right.
to coach a Pro Bowl game out in Hawaii.
Our last round for single points. Round 5. Jim, you're going to open up with this
Boys
one.
being boys.
Who will draft Jeremiah Love?
Oh, this is a good
We have
question.
7
I
answers
love
on
This
the
is
board.
such a good
Question.
question.
Okay.
There are 2 teams.
So, number 1 is going to be Tennessee Titans.
Really? I don't think that's number 1.
With 13
Seriously?
votes, the Tennessee Titans at 4th overall was the
This
most
is-
popular vote.
This is. All right, I went on this rant last week. We don't need to go on it again. That's ridiculous,
No.
though.
I actually thought of making this question an entire podcast.
You could. You could.
You
make
could.
an
There's
entire
7
podcast.
answers.
Obviously.
Yeah.
All right, Jim.
I love this question. Oh, the
We'll do
next
the
one's
pass
going
and
to be the
play.
New York Giants. Oh,
right.
I'm playing.
Jim is playing.
I'm going to do
He's
this whole
at-
podcast by myself right now.
So, Jim, your answer is the New York Giants?
Yes, it is.
That is our first strike of the
Okay, the
board.
draft professors are
Catabo, bro. Catabo, bro. Cam Scatabo.
Okay. Okay, so the next one would be the Washington Commanders.
The Washington Commanders. And you're about to see how big of a spread there is on the answers here, because they're number 2, going from 13 to 3 votes
I can't
on
believe
this list.
I still, once again, like the sins of last year. And maybe it happens, but if the sins of last year pervade into this year, it is ridiculous. If Tennessee snags Jeremiah Love, it's just it's not whatever. I digress.
All right. We asked 25
So,
draft
Owen-
professors who will draft Jeremiah Love. Jim, what is your next answer?
Minnesota Vikings.
The
That's
Minnesota Vikings.
a good answer.
Coming in at number 4 with 2 votes, which I was surprised by that. I thought that'd be a rather high answer.
I thought there'd be either 2 or 3. There are
Yep.
2. That's one of 2 teams that I was gonna go with. I'm actually surprised.
I thought that was going to be
two.
number 1. When I first put this question out, I was anticipating that being number 1.
That's what I thought.
And Steve, nobody's ever accused me of being Norm. Like, I'm good with that. And Lily, it's good to see you. I hope
Welcome.
my girlfriend's in Canada right now visiting her mom, but she still checked out the podcast.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
hey, 2 females, Newt. Show some respect to Lilia. She's a big fan of Mowgli.
Julio, thanks for popping in. Thanks for just watching some dudes being dudes.
All right, Jim. Your next answer for what the draft professor said will be Jeremiah Love's pro team come the 2026 NFL draft.
So I remember posting a mock draft with this. Shout out to JT Olson, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
That's not
will
bad.
be your second strike of the game, Jim. One strike left with 4 answers on the board. Can he clear it, or will Newt come in with the steal and make this game even a modicum of interesting?
Cool, Owen.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
No,
The Cincinnati Bengals
That can't
are
be
gonna
it.
be your third strike, Jim. So, Newt, with a chance to steal, name me what team the draft professor said will draft Jeremiah Love.
I'm not panicking because I feel like I'm just higher on this team snagging Love than anyone else. I want to go with your Ravens after we talked about it last week.
Yep, in the mock draft. That's going to be my favorite spot for them eventually.
I'm going to go
around and make another mock.
I'm going Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys is not going to be up there. So, Jim, you're going to get all 14 points.
Okay.
Are the Cardinals a pick?
So, we'll start at 7 and move our way up. At number 7 is the Kansas City Chiefs with one vote.
Shit, that's
there at
that's
pick number
actually a
9.
good vote. I should have gotten that.
At number 6, the Pittsburgh Steelers with 2 votes.
All right.
If he somehow falls past the Vikings at 19, I'm sure they'd be willing to.
I
Caleb Johnson
can't
kinda
see a
flopped.
world where he drops past the Panthers
Agreed.
at 19.
I don't see a world where he drafts past the Vikings at 18.
Number 5, the New Orleans Saints for 2 votes.
Okay. That's not
And
bad.
our final answer, the one we missed, and Newt, you said it, the Baltimore Ravens. And number 3 with
I love
2
that
votes.
question. Like, we could make a whole podcast out of this.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite spot right now is the Ravens to take him, but all these other spots, besides maybe the Steelers, I can definitely see. Even ones that weren't listed here, I could definitely be on. Like, for me, he's up there with the Genties and the Saquons and the Bijans of the world, where he's an elite running back prospect for me.
My favorite one is actually, what if the Rams took him? Like, the Rams weren't on this list, but could you imagine Love in a McVay offense?
When we were doing the mock draft last week, I had that thought. That was a fleeting thought when he was still on my board when the Rams picked for the first time. I was like, do I go just Jeremiah Love here and make the most insane 1-2 running back combo in the league? And I decided not to. Same thing with the Ravens, but I could see it. That'd be a real fun match there. All right. Well,
What does Jim have right now? Like,
Jim has 94 or 92 points, and Newt has 23. But we're going to double points this time, and Newt, you're going to be able to have the ability to control the board if you get the number 1 answer here. You're going to start on this one. So we're on to round 6, and the question for round 6 is going to be a favorite of yours, I think, Newt. It's going to be for double points.
hey Steve, how about you shut the hell up?
Is the 3rd quarterback drafted in the 2026 NFL draft? We have 8 total answers here. A lot of ones.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
this is going to be a lot of fun.
This is a really good. This is a good question.
Newt, ball is in your court. Is there a clear and obvious number 1 answer here? I mean, the voting says
No.
one way, but I don't really think there is.
Really?
No,
Kinda.
there's enough people with a different QB2 that I know
What?
that ask
With a different
yeah, that's
QB
what I mean.
two?
There's a clear,
Yeah,
there's a clear
Simpson
top
is
3 in
not
this.
consensus QB2 within the draft professors. So
He's not
just-
my QB2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So who's going first here, Owen?
Newt, you get your
am.
first crack at this board.
I am going. I feel like I'm overthinking this.
You probably are.
Nuss bus.
The Nuss Bus is our number 1 answer with 7 points. Newt, would you like to pass or play?
No, we're playing. We got to play.
We're going to play this for
I
double points.
ain't playing games here.
Who is
play the
quarterback
Feud.
3 in the 2026 NFL Draft?
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck is number 6 with 1 vote.
Love it.
For
Talon Green.
QB3.
Talon Green. We're gonna start rolling him.
Oh, we're firing him off. I love to see it. Answer number 5, Kalen Green, quarterback from Arkansas, for quarterback 3 off the board.
Cole Payton.
Cole Payton. Doesn't someone have him as QB2?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have him QB2.
Oh yeah, I know Hank likes him as QB2. At one point,
there are
Russo
6
may have
people
had
looking
him
for
there.
QB3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Sparks loves Cole Payton.
Yes.
I didn't see it. I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie.
I know there's an answer on here for sure, and that his name is Kate Klubnik.
His name is Cade Klubnik at number 4.
Wow, more than I thought. Oh my
with
god,
3 votes.
jeez. I'm like realizing now how many quarterbacks there are listed with this. Shit. All right. Sawyer Robinson.
Sawyer Robertson. That's your boy, isn't it, Jim?
Yes, it is.
Well, he'll stay your boy because no one else voted for Sawyer Robinson as QB3 in the 2026 NFL Draft.
All right, this is
Yeah,
gonna get.
I don't know that Robertson had the season we wanted him to have. I really liked him like over the summer, and I really wanted him to take a jump, but I think he jumped over a puddle. It wasn't the exact jump that we were looking for.
He didn't
I'm
take
glad
the
that
leaps
made
and
you laugh.
bounds.
All right, well, we're gonna go with Owen's boy, Drew Aller.
Drew Aller, my boy, QB2 in this class, comes in at answer number 3 with 5 votes.
Right.
So, 2 answers left, 2 points remaining on the board with double points activated for this round. Newt, you have 2 strikes left. Can you give me quarterbacks 7 and 8 for who will be QB3 drafted in this NFL draft class?
This is where this question becomes so obnoxious. That like the fact that we're talking about these guys as QB3. Diego Pavia.
Diego Pavia is not going to be up there.
I was glad that wasn't one of the answers.
Yeah.
But where are we at, man? I mean,
I'll give you a hint, or I'll give you kind of not a hint, but like if you can get number 7, I think you'll take the points home on this one. I don't think either of you are getting QB8.
so the only other I got 2 guys actually. That's the problem. I'm curious as to like who the obvious one is.
I think JT knows who number 7 is.
I gotta just give me a hot second here.
He's got to pull up his big board,
Yeah,
or he's going to go put a late vote into the survey right now and see if I can
I'm gonna actually ring it for myself.
I actually think I know who the next 2 answers are.
I bet you do.
That's
the thing is you probably do. God, I don't. Man, dude, I don't know. Luke Goldmeyer.
That was who I was. That was one of my 2.
Not gonna be up there. Jim, can you get one of the 2 remaining answers to steal the 46 points on the board currently?
I have a player in mind, and I swear to God, if Jim gets it with this player, I'm gonna be pissed.
I think I know who the next 2 answers are. Okay, so has Ty Simpson been mentioned?
The obvious one. That's the obvious.
And then
one.
Fernando Mendoza is the other.
So
But I'm going to go with Ty
stupid.
Simpson.
I'm so stupid.
Ty Simpson is answer number 7, and Jim is going to take 48 points with him to go.
Is the other answer Fernando Mendoza?
The last answer, I don't even know who the hell this is Ethan Kaliakmanis?
Yeah, Rutgers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. How did I not answer Ty Simpson? That was the dumbest thing I could have done.
That's why I said there was like an quote unquote obvious one.
Yeah.
I thought JT might have gotten. But
No,
all right.
it's just like I'm like literally looking at like Ty Simpson and skipping past him every time. It's just it's me being stupid.
Hey,
We're
at
gonna
least
go with our
nobody
last
said
question.
Peyton Salter.
No. No. Which I do have him graded higher than Taylor Green, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll kill it, we'll leave that there. I think Caden Salter can actually play quarterback in the NFL. All right. So
Thanks
final
for that,
round.
JT. Yeah, no.
JT, I figured that one out too. I figured it out. It just wasn't my turn to talk.
140 to 23 for Newt. We're going to go with the triple points for this one. So Newt, you're not out of it yet. Jim,
The only way I can lose is if it's 3 people that have never been in my kitchen. Does anybody here know that TV show reference?
no.
Not a clue.
So that's Cliff Clavin on Jeopardy, and that was part of a Cheers episode.
Okay.
So
You date
Google,
me with the Cheers episodes.
YouTube Cliff Clavin on Jeopardy, and it'll give you a laugh for about 2 minutes before you go to bed.
So my parents, when I was growing up, Jim, I at this point in my life have seen every episode of Frasier, like probably 3 or 4 times. But Cheers, for some reason, was just not in the repertoire. It was Frasier and Seinfeld. So that's what I grew up on. But obviously, like, I get the Cheers humor and references for sure.
Yep.
My father can, if you play an episode of Seinfeld, he can recite you line for line the entire episode, every single episode.
My dad is the exact same one. Seinfeld or Frasier, or like there's a couple others like All in the Family, and some other ones. But like he can tell you give him, I don't know, a sentence from there, and he'll tell you the name of the episode, the season it was in, and I'm like, how do you know this? Like there's a reference we always used at home. Thank God I live in this little place called America. Like my dad uses it constantly, and just kind of as an off the cuff comment, right? And I'm like, Dad, like, what do you mean? He goes, oh yeah, that's from Frasier, Blazy Boy, season 7, episode 6. And I'm like, what the do you mean right now? Swear to God. He pulls up the episode by name, like goes to where it is in the episode because he's so comfortable where it is. And it's Martin Crane sitting there, like quoting exactly my father. And I'm like, how have you seen this that many times that you know this by heart?
I'm getting to that point with my favorite TV show of all time, Community, where I've watched it now 8 times completely through. Every calendar year I have to watch through it at least once. And dude, I went through and ranked every single episode. Last time I watched it through, now I'm going through and giving each episode a star rating. I'm on season 3 right now. So that is my absolute favorite show of all time.
Jim, so this is going to probably date you. And I'm sorry for that.
That's okay.
Give me top 3 sitcoms.
Cheers is number 1. It's not even close.
Okay. I respect JT with Friends, by the way.
I'm probably going to go... You said sitcoms, right?
Sitcom. It's got to be sitcoms.
Yeah. So... I'm probably going to go with Seinfeld and Friends.
Okay. Oh, Friends. Number 3, really? That's, Jim, that's where, like, the weird crossover is going to happen, is with Friends. So I massively respect that. JT apparently loves Friends.
Yep. So, story about Cheers, right? So, I had stored a whole bunch of Cheers things on my DVR, and when my kids came home from the hospital, I was the one that stayed home with them. So, I was basically watching 200 Cheers. I binge watched Cheers on my DVR, and they have the theme song.
Yep.
About 2 years later, Chrysler used the Cheers theme song in a commercial. My kids were running around the house playing, and like that came on during a Bills game. My kids stopped dead in their tracks when that Chrysler commercial came on with the theme song. Like they knew the song, even though like they hadn't seen much Cheers in like 2 or 3 years. It's amazing what shapes a infant's mind. It blew me away. Like, that's okay,
so cool.
I have to pay attention. I have to pay attention to what I do around my kid because they remember everything.
Everything. So Owen, what do you got? You said for you number 1 is
it would probably be Seinfeld.
Community?
I've never watched shows. Yes, Community.
Yeah, Community. You just said you said you're ranking.
Is that a sitcom though?
I would say Community is a sitcom.
Love that. Yes,
it's
Community.
It's like a millennial twist on a sitcom, but still it's a sitcom.
Community, Seinfeld's probably 2 for me, just from the brewing I've had. I'd love to hear Jim sing.
I want to see that so bad. I love.
Maybe if
You
you
do
choke
not.
someone around
Lily.
away,
We
you
are
can
going to
sing.
lose
Chat.
way too many viewers.
No,
if I
we're gonna
sing.
gain all of them. Lily in this chat is probably the best thing that's ever happened. All right, so Community,
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, and
I don't watch a lot of sitcoms. Like I've never seen an episode of Cheers. I've never seen Friends. I've seen like one episode of with the
It's
other one you said.
amazing, right? The three of us have been podcasting together for a year and a half, but Owen's really, you're young enough to be one of my kids,
probably
right? You're
yeah.
only a few years older than my teenager.
Yeah, I mean, the three
Right.
seasons of The Office I've seen, I'll probably put as number 3.
Really? Do you not watch sitcoms, Owen?
Not really. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm a big YouTube guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't really. I've turned off YouTube TV. Like I don't even pay for it right now.
Dude, it
I
would
just
be
watch a lot of one-off. I'll watch a 5-hour-long YouTube video about some random YouTuber from the early 2000s that fell off the face of the earth before I watch a show.
It would clearly for me be Friends. I'm not Friends. I'm sorry. Friends would probably be like honorable mention. It would be How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, and New Girl.
Oh,
in
Big
that
Bang
order.
Theory's in there. That's a great one.
Like that.
And
like
2.5 Men for me falls into that somewhere,
So
but I
I've
don't
never
know that I like 2.5 Men more
one's good,
than Friends. But,
Friends is
like,
Friends is definitely like a consideration. Scrubs as well. Love Scrubs. Absolutely love Scrubs, but I think it's like as a show more wholesome than like by individual episodes.
So I have 2 questions for Seinfeld for
New
Owen.
Girl. Nice.
So
All right.
Owen, have you seen Seinfeld?
I've seen every episode of Seinfeld.
He said he's number 2.
Okay, right. So does DeBellas remind you of the Soup Nazi?
Yes. I do. We make references to that all the time when we go there. My math teacher used to just drop Seinfeld references, and that was his favorite. Whenever like someone would get an answer wrong, it'd be like, "No soup for you."
No soup for you.
Yep. And then I lived through the car rental episode on Seinfeld. I lived.
Wait,
I
shut
literally
up.
lived it. Like,
Actually,
I showed up. I had a reservation, and they did not have a car. It was at the Rochester Airport. So it was great because my dad could come and pick me up. And then there was a NASCAR race at Watkins Glen, which is why all the cars were gone. But I literally have lived the rental car episode of Seinfeld. I had a
Whenever I see that-
reservation, and they had no car.
Whenever
Like,
I see
that
that episode,
happens
I
to
always just think of the scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles where Leslie Nielsen is trying to get the car at the DM or at the
you mean
airport.
Steve
wherever
Martin
he is.
or
Or Steve Martin? Yeah, sorry, not Leslie
That's
Nielsen.
Steve Martin. Steve
Oh yeah,
Carell.
Steve Martin.
Or not Steve. Yeah, Steve Martin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he's trying to get the rental. That's all I ever think when I see that episode. But all right, that was a great 6-7 inning stretch here. Going into our final round, triple points to see if Newt can drag this from the depths, and if not, we're calling an audible. The loser has to sing the theme song. Cheers. Jim, you are gonna be opening with this board. Triple points. This is gonna be our last category. Who will be the third cornerback drafted in the 2026 NFL Draft? So it doesn't have to be particularly first round. So none is not the answer. But after some of the first two obvious ones, first few actually, I wouldn't even say two, a couple obvious ones. Who will be CB?
Yeah, you got to say that, or else I don't think of it.
Good.
Jim, you open this board. So for triple points, who is cornerback 3 off the board in April?
Hermod McCoy.
Shut up. That's not going to be a top one.
Number 3 with 3 votes. That injury is scary, man. It's scary. Love the
I
film,
get
but
that.
it's scary.
So I would have said Gerard McCoy. Absolutely, I agree with Jim. This thing is top 8, but I'm going Avion Terrell.
Avion Terrell is the number 1 answer with 9 votes. Newt, would you like to pass or play on this 8-answer board?
I have to play. There's no passing on this.
All right. Newt, we asked 25 draft professors. Who will be the third cornerback drafted in the 2026 NFL Draft? Go ahead with your next answer.
Jim has already covered my sins from the last question, where I didn't think of Ty Simpson, and I feel like I should have. I don't know if anyone's gonna think of and say Mansour Delane. Like, that seems too much.
Well, this is before he ran like a sub 4.340 at his pro
but
day. So
ain't no way he's going to quarterback 3.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I don't know. Like, even then.
well, no,
So-
but like I can see a world the Cowboys really like Terrell. So regardless of who's on the board, I can see Dallas taking Terrell over McCoy and Delane.
Stop
That'd be crazy. That'd be insane.
But that would be crazy. But if you read the tea leaves, Dallas feels like they're in on Terrell, and I would take Terrell to Dallas. Like I would mock them Terrell at 12.
it. So I'm
If the
gonna
board
start.
fell-
I'm gonna start spitting off my answers. I'm sorry, Brandon Cisse. That's my personal, like, one where I'm thinking he's going to go cornerback 3.
So that's gonna be your guess is Brandon Cisse?
Cisse.
Cisse, Newt's boy. Is he still gonna be his boy after this question?
You better be.
He is at number 4 with 3 votes. Brandon Cisse. All right, Newt. Next answer for who would be the cornerback 3 off the board in the 2026 NFL Draft, according to our Draft Professor group chat.
D'Angelo Pons.
D'Angelo Pons is our 6th highest answer at 2 votes for the cornerback 3 off the board.
Not mine, but I guarantee he's going to be some. We're going to go with Colton Hood.
Colton Hood at number 2 with 4 votes. 5, 7, and 8. All 3 strikes still left. No pressure.
I saw a Draft Professor mock where, was it Dallas had Chris Johnson at their 21 or whatever it is pick. So I'm going to go Chris Johnson.
My boy, Chris Johnson, is at number 5 with 2 votes. Answers 7 and 8 left on the board. Triple points in this round. 3 strikes remaining.
So, Jim, how many points does Jim have? Triple points. I still don't have a chance. Doesn't matter.
No, I was waiting until he got done with the round to be like, that didn't matter at all.
That didn't matter. But
for pride, make it respectable.
Keith Abney II.
Keith Abney II will not be up there.
See, so
what?
Abney not being up there surprised me.
Yep. What?
So
I know who I'm going for here.
I'm gonna.
Our draft professors all voted on who would be cornerback 3 in the 2026 NFL Draft, and there are 2 answers remaining, with Keith Abney not being one of them.
We're gonna go with Mansour Delane.
Mansour Delane going for the astronomical fall off. No bong gas mask videos this year.
I don't even think it takes that.
I mean, at this point, probably not.
I'm gonna put my boy out there, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm not even this high on him. But Julian Neal.
Julian Neal. I saw someone get Julian Neal in the 6th round of a mock draft simulator.
Dude, it was probably through PFF.
It wouldn't have been the draft professor simulator.
Because PFF hates Julian Neal. I just did that on the Sounds Good podcast. But go ahead and give me X.
He's not the only one that hates. They're not the only ones who hate Julian Neal.
I don't think. I mean, I like Julian Neal a ton, and I don't have his cornerback 3. I'm very curious. I have an idea, but
Jim, for the ultimate beatdown opportunity, you have a chance to steal the triple points here.
Okay. So I'm going to give a shout out. My answer is from Ohio State, but I'm going to give a shout out. Here's who I think are candidates for 7 and 8. There's at least one draft professor that I know that is relatively high on Will Lee III from Texas A&M, but that's not who I'm going to say.
Steve wants a shot in the comments. I don't know if you guys are going to get
got
this.
it.
Go ahead, Jim.
And then there's another draft professor that's really high on Keontae Scott from Miami. Again, not my answer.
Keontae Scott was my next answer, in all honesty.
But I am going to go with Davison Igbinosun from Ohio State.
The Ohio State hold merchant Davison Igbinosun is not going to be up there. We want to try to take shots.
Let Steve guess.
All right, Steve, what's your guess for number 7?
Oh, yes, Masses. Oh, he said misses. Masses.
Hezekiah Masses? No.
Clint's pretty high on Masses.
Stop it. Clint is that high on Masses?
I don't know that he's this high.
All right,
but
so we heard Keontae Scott and Willie the Third.
All right, so we have Willie the Third and Keontae Scott as guesses. So for Willie the Third, that'll be an X on the board. Keontae Scott for Steve is number 7 with 1 vote. Also, Nuke at 69 points. Nice, bud.
So then the other one is Traydon Stoops.
Actually?
No.
This is going to be actually an awesome opportunity for me to advertise for one of our shows coming up, Jim.
Go for it.
Up? Whoa, no. Is it? Let me take one more guess.
No, because it's Owen's answer.
No, it's not. No. I didn't know who this guy was until I read this answer. Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I'm like looking.
Is it Devon Marshall from NC State?
It is not Devon Marshall.
I was gonna say Takario Davis, but Owen would know Takario Davis.
No. Mm-hmm. Charles Demings from Stephen F. Austin.
Charles Demings from Stephen F. Austin.
So Charles Demings, who Stephen F. Austin hasn't updated his profile over the last 2 years. That Charles Demings.
I saw you post that in the chat, and I was like, that looks familiar. And I was like, oh, because I just watched Charles Demings on Monday.
Okay, that means we watched Charles Demings like literally around the same time.
How do you feel about him, Newt?
He's not nearly as high as you do, apparently.
I like him, but not at QCB3.
No, Charles Demings. I'm gonna be lower on him than you. He's cornerback 19 for me.
Yeah, so the reason I said this was a good opportunity for advertising is that I was watching Charles Demings in preparation for a podcast we're doing on Tuesday nights for Mrs. Irrelevant. At least it was supposed to be on this past Tuesday. I think we might have moved it around and might come back around to it. But we're doing FCS prospects, and I was given the task of watching some top corner, safety, and linebacker prospects for the FCS. So if you're interested in seeing my opinion on Charles Demings and some of the other guys that are towards the top of draft boards from the FCS, you can check us out there. Tuesday nights coming up in a week or two.
That'll be 2 weeks, basically 13 days from today.
Gotcha. So, Newt ends up getting 69 points from that last round. Nice. But our final score... Oh, that's not the tab. That's the live stream. Our final score is Jim with 140 and Newt with the final answer of 92. That is terrible font color. I don't know why I picked that. But trust me, it says 140 and 92.
Once again, I picked myself to lose, so...
No. Hey, Owen, I need to give props to you, right? Because I remember when we first met, you said you like to do game shows. This is like the second or third one of these that we've done on a podcast. This was a lot of fun.
This was a ton of fun.
And we had a great chat going. Like, we need to do this more.
I wanted to do this earlier for like the preseason after summer scouting, kind of see where people were on the summer scouting, but we didn't get enough participation, and there was a lot of like variety with answers where it was kind of all over the place with the questions I asked. So now that we're towards the actual draft, I could have asked some more specific questions and got the answer list narrowed down to a max of 8 answers.
That's the problem, is, like, getting it to 8.
Yeah,
I have some ideas. I'm going to text you when we're done, but I really hope we can do this more on the channel because, like, so much of our content is, like, we're presenting information. And this allows us to start talking about sitcoms and Cheers and Seinfeld, and we're humans. And this was a lot of fun. So great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
For sure. Dude, Owen, once again, I rolled into this this is going to suck. I'm going to suck at this because I suck at game shows. But it was a ton of fun. Had I gotten Ty Simpson, the tables may have been turned, but
if you would have got that double up round, that last round would have really, really swung. You might have won, actually, if you would have got that last round.
I'm an idiot, and it's once again the things I'm not preparing for.
Well,
I am a big fan of game shows. Like I used to watch one. They did what I based the weekly huddle quiz bowls that I do over on my channel every so often. I based that off of a wrestling YouTube channel I watched. I did a live stream game shows like that with special guests. It was a good way to get guests on and to do some fun stuff during COVID. And then I recently found another channel now that does it for Family Feud style content. So I wanted to bring that to the Draft Professor, which I feel like this worked out pretty well. I think this is going to be a format
how
I'm gonna use
old
more
were
often.
how old were you when COVID happened?
Freshman year of college, so 19? 18?
Dude,
I was 18.
Were you where were you that spring? This is like just kind of like I'm trying to gauge where I was.
Second semester of college, living at my mom's house.
Okay.
Going for pre-med biology, writing articles on a website that doesn't exist anymore. Or maybe it still is out there somewhere. If you could find that, that'd be impressive.
Were you playing Jackbox games with your friends?
When I would go visit that was after COVID. I would go visit my wife in school and we'd play Jackbox, or me and my friends on our draft parties or something. Whenever we'd have a big get together after COVID, we'd get drunk and play Quiplash.
Dude, like we would sit
I don't
there
know
and just
either of
whip
those
out-
games.
Dude, Jim, I didn't know Jackbox before COVID, but
So much fun.
it like just completely was like, all right, we are ready and prepared for this to go. Boom, here we go. It's just like everything that you could need over the internet to be able to do like small short game show type things. Like here we are with this. That's what we would do like literally like twice a week, is just play Jackpot games with our friends and family.
I was big into Among Us right at that time, so I was
Yes,
Among Us.
that's what Among Us blew up a ton. Yep, for sure.
So I want to make sure we can make a couple of announcements here while we still have everybody in the chat. So we're going to be trying some different Draft Professor mock drafts the next 2 weeks. So Saturday morning's podcast is going to do round 1 of a mock. Then Sunday, there's going to be round 2 of the mock. The next podcast on Sunday morning is going to do round 3. Then the Sunday night podcast is going to do rounds 4 and 5 of the same mock. So we're calling that a marathon mock. Then we're going to flip and we're going to do the same idea next week. So every Draft Professor podcast, this will include Steve's, yours, the one Owen does on Tuesdays. So on Monday, they're going to do round 1 of the mock. The Tuesday podcast with Owen, Randall, Jerry, and I is going to do round 2 of the same mock. Then Durst and Peter and Clint are going to do round 3 of that mock Wednesday at 7. Owen and Newt are going to do round 4 of that mock on Wednesday. Then round 5, 6, and 7 of that mock is going to be done on the Thursday podcast. So when I started Draft Professor and I was recruiting Newt and Owen, and I was saying, we want to talk about the guys that are in rounds 1 through 5, right? You can go to nearly every other channel. They're going to tell you who the top 75 or 100 players are. That's the easy part. But Draft Professor has so many great people that are going deep in their boards. Yeah. You know, everybody's going to be able to talk about round 4 and round 5 guys that other channels aren't. So next week, we're going to start bringing you that content, making sure we are talking about the day 3 my guys that everybody likes. And every podcast is going to have a chance to kind of show off the guys that they're higher on than consensus. And I'm sure when Newt and Owen get to the round 4, they're going to be like, how did this guy not go on day 1 or 2? I'm sure we're going to get that. But that's the idea. That's the fun of this. So
if I get on that 4th round mock and Jay Sean Barham is available, I'm fighting somebody.
Dude, if and when, because I know it's going to happen, Aaron Graves is available, I'm going to fight someone.
Hey, I'm with you there. I have a day 2 on him.
And you see, and that's kind of the whole point, because how many podcasts have talked about Aaron Graves? Newt's higher on Graves than a significant amount of Draft Professors. So Newt's going to get to talk about his guys. That's the idea, everybody. That way you're going to hear about players that you don't hear about on other podcasts. Guaranteed. So
for sure.
Next week, tune into every Draft Professor podcast, and you're going to learn about a lot of players. But that being said, Newt, do you want to let everybody know about Cheesehead TV and the other great draft things that you do?
Yeah, no, I have had the opportunity to be a part of Cheesehead TV this draft cycle and do content that is Packer specific, which has been a blessing for me. And you can check that out over at the Cheesehead TV YouTube channel as well as cheeseheadtv.com. I also run zerotechdraft.com. I don't write a ton for there. Really, that is more a way for me to have an opportunity to publish my big board, my kind of final mock drafts, as well as share the prospect grades I have, as well as the scouting and pro day numbers that I've been putting together. So if you want to kind of follow me on either of those platforms, I would love that. Realistically, at NFL Draft _Weston on the app formerly known as Twitter. You can find all of that content and more if you follow me there.
Owen.
Yeah, so I'm also getting the awesome opportunity to write for Cheesehead TV this draft season, covering the interior offensive line grouping there. So you can check out my work when that gets published.
We're turning them
April?
into an NFC Packer fan. That's the slow goal.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty entrenched in the Bears there, so or Bears or Rams are where I've had my loyalties previously in the NFC.
Some bullshit, all right. I rescind everything I said to Al.
No. And, I urge you, Owen, go and draft a whole bunch of Newt's guys to the Chicago Bears. He'll absolutely love it.
Dude,
Brandon Cisse is gonna be my lock for that.
I was looking at Thor's draft for the Vikings, and there's 5 guys where I'm like, this is all the guys I want. And Jacob Infante, for the Bears, all the guys that I want.
Yep. I gave all of Owen's favorite players to Miami in one of the mocks I did.
It was brutal. It was brutal. Couldn't stand it. But other than that, you can find me here on Tuesday, Wednesday nights doing the Miss Irrelevant podcast, talking draft stuff, doing fun game shows as we just did, but also being live over at Weekly Huddle with the YouTube channel, where I just posted my top 10 nose tackles video, which is actually doing pretty well. We're up to almost 500 views on that one.
Nice.
The big boys. I'm workshopping a catchphrase for this NFL draft class because my take has been. If you play over, or if my take has been that the nose tackles and the centers have been the deepest part of this class for me compared to relatively to other years. So my phrase is, if you play over the ball, we have them all.
Yeah, there it is.
So we have. I just got done with my graphics for the centers. Now I'm going to record that tomorrow and have that out hopefully by the end of this week. So you can catch up my top 10s there, and then also over on Twitter at Weekly Huddle, where you can see takes I have, like the one I did for the episode that aired before this one, which I vehemently disagree with how that was taken, and I will fight to the last tooth and nail that I was right all the way with that one, Jim.
Which one was this?
So my take was you draft or that upside drafting for upside versus drafting for floors is different by position, and that a general note is that you draft for upside on defense, you draft for floor on offense.
Yeah, and I'll sell that one. I don't think you draft a quarterback for the floor. I don't think you draft a wide receiver for the floor.
I would disagree. I think you draft a quarterback that has the floor of being a potential start, of being a starter, with upside of potentially being better than that. Because then if you don't, then you just missed on that quarterback entirely. And with wide receivers, I'd rather have a bunch of Elijah Surratt's over Nick Harbor, who has the ability to get open and work their position better technically than a guy who's just height, weight, speed, your Darius Hayward Bays of the world.
Would you take an Elijah Surratt over Jameson Williams?
JMO was a little bit more polished, in my opinion. I felt like he had a bit more polish. He was a high player. I was high on him.
Okay, that's fair.
I think it's also why I'm lower on I don't even want to say Chris Brazzell. I'm trying to think of some other guys in this class specifically that fit that mold. I'm not particularly high on Zachariah Branch for that reason. Skylar, yep, yeah. So there's a lot of guys like that in that mold that I'm not the highest on because I like having a floor with my wide receiver as well as some upside, but that's secondary to the floor.
Well, Owen, I'm glad that you checked out our response to your take on the 7 p.m. podcast. First, I want to thank everybody for being here. The chat today was really good.
Yeah.
A lot of draft professors stopped by. That is awesome to see. Truly. When I put draft professors together, like in my head, before I started recruiting people to podcast, I had a vision that sometimes this would happen, but like today was just pretty good. So I definitely want to thank everybody. We talked about the mock drafts. We talked about the marathon mocks that are going to start over the weekend. We have Epic Mock 26, April 9th, 10th, and 11th. Steve in the chat will be drafting for the Jets. Owen will be drafting for Buffalo. And then several other, and JT Olson will be drafting for the Buccaneers. So several draft professors will be involved with Epic Mock 26. So that's 32 podcasters mock drafting against each other over 3 days. It will be our largest podcast of the year. It always is. So we did it last year. We're doing it again this year. So stay tuned. That's April 9th, 10th, and 11th. Several announcements forthcoming. Not going to make them here yet. But there should be some announcements coming from Draft Professor over the weekend. The summer scouting schedule for Draft Professor was posted in the group chat. So you know who you're paired with at this point, and you know which conference you're going to start with. So once this draft cycle ends, if you are watching this podcast, Draft Professor will be giving you the top 800 college football players by July 4th. We have a lot of great content creators, and we are dividing and conquering college football to cover college football like no other channel can. With that being said, for Newt Weston, for Owen McCullough, for myself, Jim Wickens, thank you so much for watching the Family Feud Draft Show. We will see you on a podcast again tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.